Welcome to the Ask Coach Mac podcast, where coaches from around the world get their strength and conditioning questions answered.
What's up, guys? Rob McKeefery here, and welcome to episode number 48 of Ask Coach Mac. Thank you so much for joining me today. We have a great question from Nick, but before we get to that, I want to thank today's sponsor, Iron Grip. If you're in the market for plates or dumbbells, these are my go-to guys. I've put Iron Grip plates and dumbbells in 3 facilities, including my own garage where my family and I work out. I've had nothing but positive experiences with them and love the fact that they're manufactured in the U.S. For more information, go to irongrip.com, follow them on Twitter, or call Chris DeSanto at 509-230-3124. All right, here's today's question from Nick.
Hey, Coach Mac, this is Nick Ajanian from Houston Baptist University. Just want to reach out to you and ask you a question. As I go into my last semester of my graduate assistant position, I just wanted to know what your advice would be on moving forward in my career and how I approach the next phase of my career. Love to hear from you. Thank you.
Nick, thanks for this question. This time of year is, job hunting season. And, for a lot of GAs that are in their last semester, for a lot of coaches that are looking for their next opportunity, this becomes that time of year where you're checking the message boards all the time and constantly asking people if they've heard anything and all that. And, of course, I can remember those times of years in my, that time of year in my life. But, honestly, it's one of those times that that as I've gotten older and wiser in this profession, I think about all the coaches' families that are being uprooted and all the negativity that comes with changing jobs and being let go and moving on and all those things. But for somebody like yourself that's just now getting into the business, that's focused on getting that next opportunity and continuing to grow in the profession, I think there's a couple of key things that you want to make sure that you're doing. First is you need to close your eyes and you need to determine what your dream job is. Up to this point as a GA, as an intern, you've kind of taken wherever wherever the wind's taken you've gone. Whether it's working with a specific, with a sport that's not specific to what you're looking for. It's maybe been at college, maybe it's been a pro, maybe it's kind of whatever opportunities you've had come your way. Whereas now it needs to get a little bit more targeted. You really need to find and identify what that dream job is. If that's working as a head strength coach at an NFL team, then you need to make sure that you're working towards that goal. If it's maybe working as a head strength coach at a high school or whatever it may be, you want to make sure that you're niching down your networking, you're niching down your opportunities to those types of roles. Second thing you need to do is you need to determine what you're missing to be great at that role. So if I want to be the head strength coach at a high school, well, then I need to really focus in and dial in on learning how to manage people, and learning how to manage time, and learning how to manage resources, and learning the different types of scheduling that work at the high school level, and what kind of staffing I would have, and all those types of things. Next, you need to look for opportunities to work within that job you want, and so, it's never about if you can, if you don't have the skill set or abilities to make it sometimes. A lot of times it's that you're not willing to sacrifice enough to make that happen. If you want to be in the NFL, well, people will start off, maybe they do an internship, they don't get their job, and they bolt. You need to continue to stay in it, build those contacts, sacrifice, and then eventually you'll get your break, so when you're looking at these opportunities, sometimes you got to take a step back to move forward. When I was working for the Kansas City Royals as an intern, I took that job because I couldn't find a job working with professional football, which was my dream job. I ended up getting offered a AAA job, making pretty good money right out of college, and one step away from being a head guy in Major League Baseball, to take an unpaid internship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it was an easy decision for me because my dream job was working in the NFL, and I wanted to find opportunities to make that happen. Next, you want to make sure you network like crazy. You want to find those people that are working in that arena and reach out to them. Do site visits, set up meetings at conferences, phone calls, emails. Whatever you can do to start to create a network in that niche is very important. Don't forget about the network that you currently have either. A lot of people will just look and try to build all these new relationships when this profession is so small and so connected, through just a couple degrees of separation, that you want to reach back out to the network you've already created and see if anybody has any connections that you don't know about. Let them know what your intentions are, what your goals are, what your dreams are, and ask specifically if they know or any way that they can potentially help you. And then lastly, you may have to settle for a job. You may not be able to get, an opportunity to work in that niche. You may not get, the opportunity to find a paying job or whatever. And so you have to put food on your table. And so you may have to settle, and you got to realize that this is a job of longevity, the longer you're in the profession. But while you're taking this role, you need to do a great job where you're at. You got to make it a job that you don't want to leave. But then you also need to make sure that you're taking all those down times when people would normally be sleeping or normally be, vacationing or whatever. And you need to be making sure that you're working to make up some of these other things during those times to try to make your dreams happen. So, Nick, I hope that answers your question. We'd love to hear what everyone else thinks. Use the hashtag AskCoachMac48 to continue the discussion over on Twitter. Nick, thanks for your question. I want to encourage everyone else, if you have a question that you would like to potentially be featured on the show, head over to AskCoachMac.com. There you can ask your question by hitting the record button at the bottom of the page. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And here's a quote to finish the day by Steve Martin. Be so good that they can't ignore you. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next episode of Ask Coach Mac. Bye for now.